And welcome back to the Nose Plays. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a game of League of Legends that I played that I'm particularly proud of. And I'm particularly proud of this game in particular, not just because I did really well, and this is probably one of the better games that I've ever played, but it's because I've been really trying to focus on my macro decision making. And I feel like throughout this game, I made very few really bad calls, and I had a few bad micro mistakes. But for the most part, I made very few really bad calls. And so I just want to watch this, and I'll pause it periodically and kind of tell you what's going on and what's going through my head during the game, and what I think I might improve on or do differently if I had perfect information like I do now watching it a little bit further into the future. So we're going to go ahead and unpause the game and just let it run. I'm going to keep the action mostly focused on my character. I'm playing AD carry, and I'm going to go ahead and set this to follow the one-trick Ashe around. You'll notice that I'm late getting out of base, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually typing in chat with my support, who's the Yumi, and letting her know that we're playing against Kaisa Karma. They have no sustain. They're more of a poke comp. They want to poke us down from range without taking trades, and basically all in us if we get low and take too many pokes. So what I'm telling Yumi is what we want to do is we want to try to trade whenever possible, and then let Yumi use her sustain to help heal me up. So she agrees to this plan, and we head to the traditional starting areas for most games. So we're going to help Leash for our Hecarim. Now, one thing in particular that you'll notice is that for one of my masteries, I took Hail of Blades. Hail of Blades on Ashe is interesting as a trading tool, particularly if you take Cheap Shot with it. So Cheap Shot will proc every 4 seconds. Hail of Blade give you 3 very rapid auto attacks, and we'll sort of see that play out in the laning phase, and you'll see how I use it. You do give up some things in some of the other mastery trees, but the most important thing that I'm running is Approach Velocity and Hail of Blades. Also, Ultimate Hunter for the really nice cooldown reduction. I'm going to get a nice volley off here. I think I missed one of those, and then I get my first really quick trade, and you can see how much damage I did compared to how much I got in return. I did take that poke, that was unfortunate. But the sustain game is already coming in, so their poke, if they don't get enough of it on me, is not going to matter. Dodged that one. Felt pretty good about that. And for the most part, I feel like my farming in the early game went pretty well. There's the 1, there's the 2, there's the 3, and out. And every time that Hail of Blades is up, I'm going to try to look for those quick 1, 2, 3 trades. That's also going to proc Cheap Shot on my second auto. So that's true damage that gets added to my normal attack, which is nice. They're kind of trying to set something up in that bush down there. She actually steps out, and I get 2 off and 1 on to the Karma. And we go in here. I'm a little confused right here because I thought I exhausted her, and I did, but I had no vision of her that entire time. She flashed the entire gap on the bush, so I had no vision on my exhaust ever going off. And I'm kind of startled, like, why is my exhaust on cooldown? Like, I thought I cast it, but I never saw it go off. So I was a little bit flustered, but now that I've watched the replay, I know what happened. She was exhausted in the bush. I did get it off, but she flashed. I didn't see her flash go down, so that was interesting. And I'm looking for the jungler now. We're a little over 4 minutes in. I get another nice quick triple trade. Triple tap off right there on Karma every time she walks up. She's going to come to regret that. And there's another one. And I've got my first kill of the game. Volley was on cooldown right there, and it just came back up, but I just couldn't quite get in range for the next auto. We're actually going to see this Kaisa make a really big mistake. So right now I'm thinking she's probably back, but she's actually sticking around. And so we were going to just push this lane and back, but now that she's sticking around, me and Yumi are kind of looking for that tasty kill. And right here, she steps up into a bad spot. I get the slow off of the volley, we follow up, and there's not much that Karma can do. So now we're planning on pushing this in and getting out of here. One of my teammates is pinging Dragon. And so we're going to go right back here and back and get our first buy. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this up every time we back so you can see what items we have. So we're up 2 kills, 33 farm to 16. And I'm going to go ahead and get my first buy in. And I'm going to buy a Phage. I'm a big fan of Phage on Ashe. It's not the greatest tool for last hitting, for farming, but it's really, really good for kiting and for chasing people down. And I have a feeling that we're going to be doing a lot of that this laning phase, the way that they've played so far. So I think that this is a good item for me. I also managed to pick up some other little trinkets. One of the other things that I would generally buy if I had this much gold is I might buy a BF sword, and then sometimes a BF sword and boots, but I think I actually have the free boots, so that's why I didn't buy boots. We're going to pick up most of this. And I'm going to go ahead and put that away for now. Okay, so there's some action going on around Dragon right now, and I'm not really paying too much attention to it. I start to see it, I start to head that direction, and this is where we try to catch these two out, but the problem is the rest of my team's already left. And so I'm actually going to get a really sweet volley off right there that hits 3 of them, and we're going to get away from that. That could have been really bad. I was thinking that my team was going in and they were leaving and I was going in by myself. Well, Yumi was with me, but 2v3 is not a good place to be. So we know that the Kayn is still nearby, so I'm kind of playing a little bit cautious, but I don't think he's going to stick around. I'm not sure what Yumi's doing here. And you're seeing we're playing a little more cautious. I'm not trying to get the trades because I'm still worried about the Kayn. I don't know where he's at. But we are going to, over time, decide that he's not here and get a little more aggressive again. Yeah. So the lane starts pushed back in because of the cannon. Yumi takes the cannon, gives it to us. And she steps up, and then this Karma just gets run around. And we just kind of alternate between whoever's in range. But the root or stun on us kind of steals the kill. But now they're both really low again, and so once again, we're going to find an opportunity to maybe get a kill when they step forward to CS because they're refusing to back. Kayn comes in here. We see him for a brief second, so we kind of back off. And I'm letting the teammates know that I just hit 6. And hoping that somebody's going to come and help me set something up. Unfortunately, my team has decided not to come and help out, not to take advantage of the free gold that comes with an Ashe arrow. And so I'm content to just continue to farm, and then we get into another little trade here. Probably could have used the arrow a lot better there. I was trying to hit the Kaisa, and I missed. Was a little late. So now they're going to try and back. And we're just going to take a free plate. And since Yuumi took off, I get all of the gold from that plate. And I decide to go ahead and stay since I see the next wave coming. I don't want to give them an opportunity to freeze the wave here. So I want to push it into tower, make sure they can't do that. Unfortunately, it takes me a little longer since Yuumi can't really help me push the wave. And then we're going to back and buy. So we'll go ahead and check this again. And so I'm still 2-0, but I've got more gold now. I'm also level 6. So now I've got my BF sword. And we've got a pink ward. And I think we're finally going to get an opportunity to set something up really nice with my jungler. Also, I noticed the dragon's coming up. This will be second dragon, and so I've pinged out my team to let them know. And I'm also pinging as I'm coming to lane that my arrow is up and ready to go. And so we come into lane, get a nice volley, start to get some of this farm. Managed to get that one, and Heck is standing on a ward right now. He doesn't know that, and I don't know that. But I'm in a pink bush, and they have no vision of me. So I'm just waiting for them to come up a little bit. And as soon as she does, we land the arrow, and we're going to clean this up. Double kill. And I think that was pretty well executed by everybody. Minus the fact that Heck was on a ward the whole time. It was kind of crazy that they were there, but I don't think they knew we were in lane at all. I think they were completely oblivious that we were in lane. So I get another plate and continue my farming. At this point, I've got 80 CS to her 57, and I'm 3-0 with an assist. So I'm having a really good game in lane, just crushing this Kaisa. They can't really do anything. Every time they try to poke, we trade and heal it back off. And I decide to back. I must have gold for an item. Boots. So I upgrade my boots. I get my free boots and upgrade into new ones. I'm not sure why I decided to back off there. I probably could have stayed in lane. And once again, my arrow is on a pretty low cooldown. I get free cooldown reduction on Ultimate Hunter, and then also some of my items have cooldown reduction. So I don't think I have any of them yet, but eventually I will get some. I catch her out with the ward, and we just collapse on her. Very quickly get that. We switch to the Karma because we got rooted, and I managed to clean that up. Kayn comes in late. Can't do anything. Try to pick up the last of that farm. And Kaisa is going to make another critical mistake. So I see my Heck is on Dragon. I see that their mid laner is still mid. I'm not quite sure if I remember where Kayn is. I'm pretty sure I saw him when he tried to come in there. And she's really low, and we got a cannon, so I'm just walking. So we just run her down. Like, she had no business being there. There was nothing she could do. Now, I'm not really paying attention to what's going on here. And so what I want to show you guys is the last time that I looked at Dragon Pit, I saw Heck and Yone in there trying to take Dragon. What I actually see right now is this. And I heard the blue team slay the dragon, but I didn't actually hear it. It didn't register to me. And so this is basically what happens to me as I walk around the corner here. This is one of my bad decisions. Just face checking their entire team. Maokai roots me. Kane comes in. Yeah, it was ugly. And so, unfortunately, I had a pretty big gold bounty on me. You know, Yumi was 0-0-5. I was 5-0-1. We were doing really, really well. And that was the beginning of one of the few big mistakes I made. So I should have been aware of that. I think I may have not had Hawkshot up. So I didn't have a chance to Hawkshot that. I probably would have gone a different direction had I known a bunch of their teammates were there and had been paying attention enough to see that they had stolen Dragon. But I was going to help a situation that was already over. So what I could have done there differently is I could have gone to Dragon. That would have given my team a lot of power because it would have been 4 of us versus 2 or 3 of them. And we might have been able to win that. But the tasty Kaisa kill was just too enticing, and I tunnel visioned on it a little bit.
Killing spree.
Alright, so let's take a look at what I upgraded, if anything. So I'm working to get my BF sword up. I'm working to get my BF sword upgraded into an Essence Reaver for the 20% cooldown reduction. Right now, I see Hecarim in lane, and he is fighting at this moment a 1-3-0 Kaisa and 0-3-2 Karma in a big wave of their minions at our tower. And so I see this, I throw arrow to try to help him out, and it goes pretty poorly. I am not really aware. My one experience with Heck at this point in the game is that he came and executed a good double kill in my lane. So I'm not really aware. I haven't paid attention to the fact that he's 2, 4, and 3, and he doesn't really have any good items. So I'm trying to help him get something out of this. She gets stunned, allows him to back out. He takes my farm and jets, and we get absolutely nothing out of my ult. So back on to Ashe.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I think he's sitting on a ward once again. Okay, so I'm gonna just run her down, I think. This is a pretty good 3v1 for me, with one minor exception. Right here, I'm having trouble autoing her because I keep clicking on a minion, and I finally get her and get out, but it costs Yumi her life. So that was a micro mismanagement. My micro wasn't good enough to click on her. I'm literally screaming at my keyboard, die. Couldn't get her to click properly, so misclicking crazy under stress. Kind of sucks, but we get the tower and we get the double kill. And I'm going to back out. I guess I can leave that up since we're backing out. And so at this point in the game, we are almost 20 minutes in, and I am 7-1-2. I have Essence Reaver completed, I have a Phage, I have Boots, and I'm working on my Zeal item. So I've got basically half of Zeal still sitting on a Doran's Blade as well. And so as I'm coming back to lane, I noticed that the lane's pushed, so there's really nothing for me to do in lane. So instead, I'm heading to river, and I'm going to pick up, drop a ward, because I see Scuttle's coming up, and so I want vision on Scuttle in case their jungler comes to take it. And then I'm going to take Gromp, while Kaisa and Karma push my lane in. And I'm going to get right back to turret, as the wave crashes on my side of the map. And they are well aware that I'm really strong right now, so they basically jet. They don't really give me an opportunity to use arrow to run one of them down, which is fine with me. I'm going to rotate and just peek this bush. I actually threw that just so I could make sure I didn't have a whole bunch of people standing there, because I wanted to ward it and clear any wards that were there. And then I'm going to come back to river, pick up scuttle. So one of the things that I'm working on in my macro play is to basically rotate so that as an AD carry, you're always farming, you're always looking for opportunities to get gold. I'm rotating the mid tower to stop Yasuo's push here. And I'm going to get some of that gold, some of that sweet, sweet gold. Missed that one. But I get those two. And I got the cannon. And then I notice Heck is in a fight again. And this is a common theme. Heck is always in trouble. I throw a prayer of an arrow. It lands, but doesn't really help that much. So we finally come in and help clean this up. Heck gets a kill. Heck's gonna die to Yasuo, I think. Yeah. But we finish off the Yasuo. And so, not great, but we kill a bunch of them, and so we're up on kills again. And now Yon's kind of in trouble. So I'm running to help Yon out. Also pinging Dragon. And I think we managed to run this Karma down, because this is the power of approach velocity paired with Phage. Once you tag somebody with slow, they cannot get away. It's very, very difficult without flash, or cleanse, or ghost, or some other kind of summoner. And so we're going to work on second tower. I actually get tower aggroed here and back out. I give my team a chance to dive, but they can't clean that up, unfortunately. And then Maokai is going to kind of come in and wreck our day. Almost get the tower down, but then we have to back out. Drop a ward. And I missed my arrow here, so that's... maybe I did land it, but we didn't get a kill off of it. This is becoming a real problem here. This Maokai, his CC is really able to just ruin my day. We saw him ruin my day in the jungle when I walked into their team. He was able to run me down here. And of course, Hecarim comes in late, hints into 4 of them after I'm already dead, and he's already dead. And we're not only going to not secure the dragon, but we're going to lose the tower. We're going to give up a double kill, triple kill actually, because Yumi dies too, and we're going to give up dragon. So this is the reason why, even though we have a really strong game, things are not going as well as they could. Every time we have a good play, or every time we do something well, they answer it with a good play of their own. Okay, at this point, they have their gold a lot more evenly spread over their champions too. The only champion that's really weak right now is Kaisa and Karma. Everybody else has a moderate amount of gear that's making them dangerous. And Maokai, look at all the armor that he's put on. So he is going max armor. He's becoming a super tank, and that is a bit of a problem. Because I don't have any penetration items right now. And I don't have any good way of dealing with his CC. So as I come to lane, we notice we need to push mid back out. We're going to try to pressure this tower. We have 3 of us mid and 2 of us pressuring top. We see 1 of them in bot lane. So we know they're not all right here. And I'm actually going to get 1 auto off on this tower. That's going to be enough to let the minions finish it off. And then I'm out. Try to volley that. Get some wards down so we can see if they're coming in. Kaisa walks right into me. And we try to catch her out, but she manages to dash away. Yon goes in, Yon goes out. And we sort of retreat because that's a bad fight. It's 3v4. All this while, one of the things that I did notice at this point, and one of the reasons that I'm kind of flirting with them in the river there, is I see that Set is split pushing very hard top lane, And so I want to try to distract them and keep them busy for as much time as I can without putting myself in any undue danger. So I think I do a pretty good job of that. Clearly, we didn't get doped by the Maokai. Maokai is probably the biggest threat on their team. You know, other than, say, Yasuo knockup. If I get tagged by Maokai, I'm pretty much dead. So if I can outplay the Yasuo and miss the knockup and avoid his wind wall, I think I'm strong enough that I can probably beat him, even in a 1v1. Set managed to get out, but Heck decides they're going to start a fight 2v4, 2v5. Yeah. So I throw a pointless arrow into that and try to get in there and help. I can see that a bunch of them are low, but once again, I can't really get in. My volley just isn't quite enough to finish off the Kaisa, and Maokai and Kayn wreck my day. One of the things that's really unfortunate is that Yon decided to try to solo the other two instead of helping me. If Yon had come to help me, his CC might have been enough to help me get some space. It's unfortunate because what we end up doing here is giving away a whole bunch once again. So I go down, Yon got a kill, but Yuumi goes down, and then Yon's gonna just go down for this.
Double kill.
All of his cooldowns were, all of his abilities were on cooldown because he used them all to finish off the Kaisa. Yasuo did get away; he didn't get the double. So, and then they're gonna come in and take a Baron. So again, they win a big team fight because my team is engaging without numbers. We try to follow up. We get there late. It's just a big mistake. And so that would be another one that I would take back. Definitely not going in there and trying to clean that up. Not quite strong enough to play the hero at this point in the game. Set's trying to split push bot. Hecarim is trying to go all in. I am trying to see if I can help Heck steal that, but I get in way too deep, and that was a big mistake. I do flash out of there, and unfortunately the knockup from Kayn allows Maokai to catch up to me right here. And so I go down once again because I got in too deep into a fight that I had no business being at. I would have been much better off heading down to bot lane or heading down to mid lane, just collecting farm, or trying to help Set. Set's actually pretty strong at this point in the game. If we take a look at Set's score, he's the only one that's actually doing fairly well. 7, 6, and 5 with 138 CS. Heck is just not very effective. He doesn't have any damage, and he's not much of a tank. And Yon is behind, to say the least. He's not doing as well as Yasuo. He does a little better later in the game. And then Yuumi is Yuumi. So it's basically up to me and Set to try to pull something off here. Set is clearly just going to split push. He's not going to really participate in the team fights. And so I'm kind of aware of this at this point in the game. I've seen him do it 2 or 3 times now. And at some point, I decide to just roll with it. So I come back up, and at this point, I finish the Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver isn't the greatest item.
Rampage.
Yeah, and my team's fighting without numbers once again.
Blue team double kill.
I decide finally to take my good advice and not into that. But just to pause for a second here, I pick up Black Cleaver for 2 reasons. Number one, it's a better item off of Phage in this particular case than Trinity Force would be. Otherwise, my Phage is kind of wasted. And the nice thing about Black Cleaver and Ashe, especially with Hail of Blades, is with the attack reset on Hail of Blades, if you already have Q charged, you can literally get all of the stacks of Armor Shred off like in 1.5 autos, essentially. And with Renuan's Hurricane, you can actually apply that to 3 targets simultaneously. So the armor shred can be applied to multiple targets, and you can apply stacks on up to 3 at a time. And every arrow from your ranger's focus actually applies a stack. So they can stack very, very rapidly if you have ranger's focus up. So that will come into play against the Maokai a little bit later on, where we'll manage to get some armor shred off on him and make him a little bit easier to deal with. And the nice thing about that is it does apply for my whole team, and both Set, Yone, and Hecarim, to a lesser extent, are mainly going to be doing AD at this point. So
A summoner has disconnected.
they take the dragon. Hecarim goes in and ints
A
again.
summoner has reconnected.
Yone's about ready to give up. And I'm just sitting here trying to defend what's left of our base. Things are going very poorly. I think it was kind of a bad decision for them to try to take Dragon. I think they would have been much better off pressing with their Baron when I was the only thing standing in their way there. Heck clearly wasn't going to do anything. Set decides to fight this out. And you can see my armor shred doing some serious work here. I've got armor shred on just about everybody. We are going to win this, but it's going to be really close. And so I go down, and they are unable to use their Baron to get very much at all. Baron buff is almost down.
A summoner has disconnected.
Yone's ready to quit again. And it's looking kind of grim because my team just keeps taking fights that they don't have numbers in. So they just don't have good chances to win fights when we don't even have numbers advantages. But they pretty much waste their Baron. They don't get our inhibitor. I think if they press the inhibitor when they have the Baron buff, I'm not going to be able to stop them, and they're going to be able to go back and take Dragon on their way out as they retreat. I think that would have been a better call for them, and it would have put a lot more pressure on us. But, as we'll see, yeah, I've already got full stacks after like 2 autos on him. And I'm able to get out of that very dangerous situation, try to flank him through the wall. But this is where things go bad. So Maokai was there. And he's diving the tower, ults me, their entire team jumps on me, and I'm dead. Now, Set is doing the split push thing that Set wants to do. And so we're going to lose inhibitor, but he's going to take an inhibitor, and that's going to come in to play a little bit later. They're going to get a tower. And it's looking like the game is over. It's looking like we're done. Yumi's going to try to stall. She's going to get brutalized, but manages to survive. And Kaisa is finishing the game. Game's just about to be over. And this happens. He's going to try to dash back in, get the last hit on the base, can't finish it off. And so the game continues. So, we're very vulnerable right now. They can backdoor. I recognize that we can't let these super minions push into our base at all, or we're going to be in big trouble. The base has like a sneeze. It's a sneeze away from being dead. I'm going to try to grab as much power as I can in the very limited amount of time I have. So, I get the red buff. I was looking to place a ward, and I don't think I have one up. I was going to try to ward Baron Pit real quick. I'm just going to grab a little bit of gold. and then head back to lane to catch the next super minion. I can start to see them moving into lane at some point. And we catch out the Kayn. Also, Maokai tries to TP in with Kayn. We managed to keep him off of it. And finish him off right here. Kai'Sa tries to just face check us. And she fails. Karma decides she doesn't want any part of this, so she's going to start to back. Unfortunately, what she doesn't realize is she's standing on a ward. And I see her. So we set up this beautiful kill. And Set is doing Set things. He's keeping the rest of the teammates busy trying to finish. I'm thinking maybe we can set up a Baron. Hex thinking maybe we could take a Dragon. I decide to make a call, and I see it's at the moment it's just Heck and Yasuo, so I'm coming bot to help him out. I'm not paying attention to the fact that everybody on the team has come up. Once I see him flash, I'm like, okay, I'll get you out. I throw arrow and I start to back out. He immediately tries to follow up arrow with going all in instead of just continuing to run away, which causes me to make the very bad decision of going back in. And now, we're doomed, right? This is totally game over. There's no way. We got no chance. But those super minions are keeping a couple of their teammates from engaging, from just going all in. And they have to respect the fact that we might have a TP up on our Set, which we do. So they're not able to just send their whole team right away, which gives us just a little bit of time. Yone comes in, Hecarim comes in. Another fight that we're losing quite handily, and then winning, and then losing again. And now it's up to the Ashe. The Ashe, Yuumi, and Set. And this time, yeah, even when Set's trying to help them, Kai'Sa tries to come back in, gets run down, and at this point I see the super minions heading into our base, and I am like booking it back as fast as I can. Try to get a little bit of movement speed for my phage right there. Luckily we had a wave spawn, so the super minions fighting the wave, and I'm able to get this pushed back out. And now our inhibitor's coming back up, but so is theirs. So we're both going to have our inhibitors come back up, and super minions will not be a problem for the immediate future. And I'm trying to think of what do we need to do? Well, the only objective that's really up is Baron. So I'm thinking we set up some kind of a Baron play. I'm also looking at my gold and looking at the fact that we've still got 24 seconds before Set comes up, so we're not going to be fighting Baron without everybody. So I'm going to buy my last item. I got some grief for my last item. I went ahead and I bought Phantom Dancer. And the main reason I bought Phantom Dancer was I needed lifeline. I needed something that's going to keep me alive, because it's pretty clear at this point that nobody on my team is willing to peel for me. Hecarim's not going to peel for me. Yone's not going to peel for me. Set's not going to peel for me. I'm basically reliant on Yuumi and me, and that's pretty much it. That's all I got. So I'm thinking Lifeline's probably the best bet to try to keep me alive and help me kite a little better. I need a little bit more movement speed so that I can get away from Maokai. I got a lot of grief that I didn't take Infinity Edge as my final item. We'll see how this plays out. So we all start to kind of set up near Baron. who face checks me. So arrow to the face, take out the AD carry, and they are immediately down 2 champions. Also, we've got a wave pushed in. Kayn goes down right there. They've got an inhibitor that's open. So I'm running straight for the inhibitor, dragging my team, kicking and screaming. Almost face check the Maokai, but managed to back off just enough that he doesn't go all in on me by myself. Flash in to secure the kill on Yasuo. Start taking the turret down. Get that down. Kai'Sa's back up. Finish her off. Second inhibitor's now down. Pop his Guardian Angel. He is really tanky, but we get him down. And that, my friends, is the game. So, like I said, one of the games that I'm most proud of, I actually was able to play the AD carry role the way that I feel like it used to be played. I haven't felt that way in Season 10 very much at all. But also, just my decision making in general, the plans and plays that I tried to set up, most of the decisions that I made were pretty good. There were a few times where my team was inting and I got roped in and sucked into really bad fights that I should not have taken, and recognized those pretty quickly after the fact, and definitely on the replay, they're pretty obvious. And then there's a few micro and macro mistakes where I walk into places where I don't have vision and face check people occasionally. But all in all, I think I played that really, really well. Led the team in kills, led the team in damage. I don't think not having Infinity Edge was a problem. I think Black Cleaver actually played really well into Maokai because he went full freaking tank. And I even built both Black Cleaver and Mortal Reminder to help shut him down. Also, the lifesteal on Kayn was a problem. The lifesteal on Yasuo once he got Bloodthirster was a problem. So we picked up Mortal Reminder earlier. And yeah, I was actually able to do damage to some of these really tanky, tough targets. So, but all in all, one of the best games that I've ever played, and just something that I wanted to share with you guys. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Once again, this has been The Nose Plays, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.